Hi, this is the Snyder Maniac with a book review on games people play. Well, there's no cover to this book because I got it from Thrift Books and a wonderful business I like to do business with often. This is a book by Eric Bean, MD, of course, and he's a psychologist that lived from 1910 to 1970. And transaction analysis is still around. And basically, what this book is about is how the communicator, yourself, and the different states you are in communicating with people, and what games you're in with these people. Like this catch me if you can type game, or put into certain situational conversations and dealing with people with substance abuse and all sorts of stuff. Now, the book was written back in the 70s. And I mean, back in the 60s, excuse me. And the first book he made was transitional analysis, transactional analysis, excuse me. And I read that book too. Do I think that these books really relate to modern times in the last, I don't know, 20 years? Nah, not really. I mean, if you want a book that you want to learn to deal with people's BS, I think this is a good start, but it doesn't add into the technology factors or anything like that. Would I really recommend this book? No, not really. I mean, I think there's better books and better ways of dealing with people. Getting into people's, trying to analyze people's conversations and how they act towards you and everything else. At the end of the day, I mean, who really cares? I mean, if you have to deal with a bunch of games, maybe it's time for you to walk away, not be that person's friend anymore. You know what I mean? That's called being an adult, but I don't know. Maybe you want to know how to deal with these games better. But the guy is a real interesting guy. Has to do with a lot of Freud, the psychologist Freud. He didn't really deal with the transactional, communicating back and forth. He was into other things, but it has that feel to it. I'm not, this book was originally written for other psychologists, but it made such a crossover appeal back in the 60s that it got really big. I'm going to put a couple interviews, an interview he did for the scientific student film he did back in the 60s. And I watched it, and it was kind of interesting because the editing is pretty good, and it looked really groovy when they were dancing and stuff. And them smoking a lot of cigarettes. I'm not going to really put myself out on a limb and say, hey, this book's for you because this is going to solve a lot of problems and how to deal with situations. No, not really. It kind of does, but it's so dated. I'm going to put this in what I call the new feature of this channel and of my videos with books, the Book Nook donation pile. Yes, I'm going to start donating back. I'm going to give back to the community that's given me so much in books. So I'm going to donate a couple books. And if I don't like a book, I'm going to donate it. And maybe there'll be somebody out there that says, hey, this book really speaks to me. Thank you for transactional analysis. Even though you have to kind of read that book before you read this one. The author in the interviews and stuff, he's really impressed with himself. So I would really give it a watch. He's been married a few different times, and he likes to listen to himself speak more than a lot of people on YouTube, like such as myself. Anyways, thank you. Have a wonderful day and keep it positive.